Hey, so it's update time. Um, where am I at right now? It's been kind of a crazy couple of weeks. So last time, I'm firm. My decision is I'm going to Cozumel. Um, just about a week after I made that post, I went to a professional resume writing service, paid them to write my resume and also my cover letter, update my LinkedIn. I did a lot on my own as well. And then I just started blasting my resume, cover letters out to jobs that I'm qualified for that are 100% remote. So I've been working really, really hard to try to get a remote position so that I can make this thing happen. So I had an interview last week for a program coordinator job that is 100% remote with what sounds like a great company and a great team. I did my research on them, and honestly, I wouldn't just take any job. It has to be something I'm going to be happy in because there's no reason to move to Cozumel and be miserable. Um, so I had the interview. It was weird. The first interview was a video interview. So it was on a platform called Spark Hire. And they asked me 5 questions. I had a limited amount of time to think about each question and then a limited amount of time to answer the questions, which, believe it or not, is kind of hard. So I submitted the interview and the next morning received a request for a second interview. So super excited, super happy. Had that interview yesterday, and I finished the interview, and I think it went great. You have that like adrenaline rush because you've been so stressed about it. It was with a recruiter for the organization, and she was very easy to talk to. She had a lot of questions, so the time, I think we were allotted like 30 minutes, and I went over 45 minutes, 50 minutes. There was a couple of mock-ups, which I wasn't expecting. It was a little bit weird and awkward, but she asked me, to pretend that I was in this situation, and role play with her, which was, like I said, just slightly awkward, but we worked through it. And then there was another scenario where she wanted me to write an email to a client who had sent, someone to our organization. Either way, she like wanted to screen view me. So I had to open up and let her view my screen while I was writing an email. And guys, let me tell you, that is ridiculous and hard because, we all make typos, and here you are, honestly, like already interviewing and trying to get a job. And then, you're nervous, and then you've got somebody watching you type, which I can't stand. So I did make like a couple of minor errors, but nothing I don't think that would disqualify me. So I had the interview. Um, you know, Yesterday felt great about it. And then, of course, that anxiety sets in, that overwhelming, overthinking. Am I going to get this job or not? I do still feel good about it. I sent a follow-up thank you, and she actually responded this morning. So that's unusual, but I'm, honestly really happy that she did. I think it's very professional either way. I don't know how many other candidates are in the running. I do know that this is not the last step. I will have to have an additional interview with probably the vice president, and then they'll make their decision. They're very team-based, so they want the right person for their job. So I'm just fingers crossed, because if this all pans out, I'm going to know that, I did make the right decision, hopefully. Outside of that, so if I don't get it, I'm still going to keep applying. It will be kind of a bummer. I won't be happy necessarily about it, but I know that there's other opportunities, and I can't stop because this is my goal and my dream. So on the home front, it's been interesting. I'm nervous a little bit. I've started doing hardcore research into what it's going to take for me to move to Mexico. So as I mentioned, I think in the last video, I'm going to take my twins because I have full custody of them. They do have visitation with their dad, but legally I'm their sole parent. So, going through immigration and things like that will not be difficult. My youngest daughter, who's 5, like I mentioned, she will most likely stay here with her dad. I don't foresee him letting her come to live with me full time. However, she can come on breaks and things like that. I have not told anybody because I don't want to set off alarm bells until I'm 100% ready and deal with all that stress. I'm kind of keeping things under wraps. I'm getting a new roof on my house next week. I have a ton of home repairs that I have to do. My house is nice, but there's just things that, when you live in a home, you kind of let go over the years. So I've got to replace some doors, and I've got to paint, and I've got to put some closet doors on, and I've got to, fix some flooring. And there's just all these like small tasks, but I just don't have the time to do these things right now. So, um, you know, with all of that, I think working from home, I'm thinking maybe like next summer would be a good move date if I get a job within the next few months, so that, I'm home to be able to do things on lunch breaks, and I don't have to drive and have a 30-minute lunch break and things like that, like I am right now. Kids are stoked. They're way excited. I haven't 100% decided what I'm going to do with all my things, my stuff. Honestly, I'd like to sell everything and just throw junk in the garden. I mean, I just want to get a roll off and just get rid of everything. Like, that's a big motivator for me of the move, is just to lighten the load. All this consumerism and crap that I have, I just want to get rid of it. So, I think when my roof gets on, I'm going to utilize the roll off they bring over here and just get rid of a whole bunch of stuff. And then I'm going to, once I have the job, I just start selling things and piecing it off. There's a lot of things I don't necessarily need, so we can get rid of those. However, there are things that I do need. So my biggest struggle right now is figuring out how am I going to get this stuff into Mexico. And the more that I think about it, I think what I'm going to end up doing is selling my car, because I have a car right now, to sell that and then buy a van, an older van. It has to be, I think, 8 or 9 years old or less to be able to import it into Mexico. So, I'm going to buy a minivan, because I have to bring my animals, and I have to bring a few things from home, clothes, and, I'm going to probably take a TV and my son's PlayStation and my computer and things like that I won't be able to get there. And that way I'll also have a car, and everybody tells me it's a pain in the butt to import a car into Mexico. So I'm hoping it's not impossible, but luckily, I have friends there that are kind of helping me, answering a lot of my questions. I'm on a lot of these expat boards, so as I get information, I will share with you. And I kind of want to have some specific post soon, so focusing on the immigration process with a family, which I haven't found good information on. The actual process of bringing things into Mexico, what steps am I going to have to take? So I kind of want to address these things in their own post, and so I hope you find the information helpful. But this is just an update. So fingers crossed. Like I said, I want this job so bad, and my heart is just in this 100%. So I hope I get it. If I don't, I'm going to keep moving forward, but I will update you guys shortly. Thank you so much for watching.